Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton went back and forth on their Wall Street plans at the debate last night, and Hillary tried to paint Bernie as anti-Obama, and here's his response.
I don't take money from big banks. I don't get personal speaking fees from Goldman Sachs. What I would do is understand that when you have 3 out of the 4 largest banks today bigger than they were when we bailed them out because they were too big to fail, when you have the 6 largest financial institutions having assets of 60% of the GDP of America, it is very clear to me what you have to do. You got to bring back a 21st century glass-steagall legislation, and you got to break up these huge financial institutions. They have too much economic power, and they have too much financial power over our entire economy. If Teddy Roosevelt were alive today, the old Republican trustbuster, what he would say is, these guys are too powerful, break them up. I believe that's what the American people want to see. That's my view.
Secretary Clinton, help the voter understand the daylight between the two of you here.
Well, there's no daylight on the basic premise that there should be no bank too big to fail and no individual too powerful to jail. We agree on that. But where we disagree is the comments that Senator Sanders has made that don't just affect me, I can take that, but he's criticized President Obama for taking donations from Wall Street. And President Obama has led our country out of the Great Recession. Senator Sanders called him weak, disappointing. He even in 2011 publicly sought someone to run in a primary against President Obama. Now, I personally believe that President Obama's work to push through the Dodd-Frank bill and then to sign it was one of the most important regulatory schemes we've had since the 1930s. So I'm going to defend Dodd-Frank, and I'm going to defend President Obama for taking on Wall Street, taking on the financial industry, and getting results.
Senator Sanders, a response.
Set the record right. In 2006, when I ran for the Senate, Senator Barack Obama was kind enough to campaign for me. 2008, I did my best to see that he was elected, and in 2012, I worked as hard as I could to see that he was reelected. He and I are friends. We've worked together on many issues. We have some differences of opinion. But here is the issue. Secretary touched on it. Can you really reform Wall Street when they are spending millions and millions of dollars on campaign contributions, and when they are providing speaker fees to individuals? So it's easy to say, well, I'm going to do this and do that. But I have doubts when people receive huge amounts of money from Wall Street. I am very proud. I do not have a super PAC. I do not want Wall Street's money. I'll rely on the middle class and working families for my campaign contributions.
I have a question.
Hillary Clinton is trying a very sleazy and disingenuous trick there. She's trying to play the Obama card and say flat out that Bernie's anti-Obama, Bernie's not on the side of Obama, Bernie's against Obama, I'm for Obama, I'm for his legacy, I'm in favor of it, and that's why I'm the better candidate. Don't look any deeper, don't look any further. That's it, that's the end of the debate right now, let's move along. Now, that's sleazy because it plays on the instincts of the Democratic loyalist base, the people who might not know all the details and ins and outs of policy specifics, but they know that more or less, Obama good, Republicans bad. Okay, and these are the people who defend Obama no matter what, even when he does something wrong. So she's exploiting that and using this as a trick to try to cut off the rest of the debate and the discussion, and that's the stuff that Bernie wants to focus on. Bernie's being very clear here. He's like, yeah, okay, let's be serious. Of course I was in favor of Obama winning in 2008. Of course I was in favor of him winning in 2012. I campaigned for him both times, and I worked with him on multiple issues. But just because he was better than Mitt Romney and better than John McCain does not mean that he's right about everything, and certainly does not mean that I'm not going to criticize him when he takes money from Wall Street and corporations and billionaires and then happens to do their bidding some of the time. Now, he's not as bad as the Republicans are with that stuff, but does he play the game? You bet your fucking ass he plays the game. And this idea that Hillary Clinton doesn't, are you kidding me? Let's take a look at this chart here. We showed this the other day. This is the amount of money made by Hillary Clinton giving speeches to big financial institutions just from 2013 to 2015. Look at this. For Ameriprise, Apollo Management Holdings, and Bank of America, she got $225,000 apiece for speeches that she gave to them. The Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce, $150,000. Deutsche Bank, $485,000. Fidelity Investments, $225,000. Golden Tree Asset Management, $275,000. Goldman Sachs, $675,000. Morgan Stanley and UBS, $225,000. If you take that money from them, it's not because you're going to give a speech to them about abortion and give your opinion on it, and then they cheer and everybody goes home. That's not the way it works. They're giving you that money because there are strings attached. I scratch your back, you scratch mine. Hey, I'll give you money for giving a speech to us, but then if/when you're in power and you become president, you're going to remember that I gave you that money, right? You're going to remember about that corporate welfare check, that subsidy that I want, right? You're going to remember about that offshore loophole that I want to keep my money in the Cayman Islands, right? You're going to remember all these things that give me special favors and screw over the American people, right? And Bernie's saying, yes, of course the Democrats are better than the Republicans, but let's get serious, you guys suck too. And I'm not taking money from these big donors, from these corporations, from these financial institutions, from Wall Street. I'm going to look out for the people. So is Hillary's political trick here clever? Yes. Is it going to work in the end? I don't think so. I think people are starting to smell the bullshit, and we've seen in polls that a lot of people across America, not just Democrats but Republicans also, it's everybody, independents, you name it, people don't find Hillary Clinton trustworthy. Even among people who are like, okay, yeah, she's better than Republican alternatives, she's not trustworthy to them. They go, I don't know, something's a little off here. She seems like she's a part and parcel of the establishment. And they're right in thinking that. So Bernie comes along and he's like, yeah, look, this is the problem with the system. The root of the problem is money in politics. I'm not partaking in that. Vote for me. People hear that and they go, oh, okay, this is a new thing we got going on here, huh? This is a guy who might actually represent us and do what the people want. This is kind of crazy. Should we go for that guy or the same old stale nonsense establishment Democratic bullshit of we're slightly better than the Republicans and oh yeah, we also take Wall Street money? I think we know the answer to that one.